What's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny and I'm that props girl, and I'm all about helping non-professional theatre makers, props designers, hobby crafters and decorators create unique props and decor. And today I'm going to be going through the 11 different types of glue that I carry on me at all times whenever I'm working on a show. It may seem strange to find out that I carry multiple different types of glue. I usually carry between 9 and 12. Today I've got 11. But the reason that I carry so many is that they all do different things. And then there are so many types of glue in the world. If I sat here listing them all, I would be here all day and probably all night. But I just wanted to go through these standard ones that I do use on a regular basis. These are ones that I tend to have in my props kit. Now, if you guys want to see a video on what I put in my props kit when I'm packing, then check out this video after you finish watching this one. And so let's start with some of the basics. All of these glues are my stock standard bread and butter that I carry with me in case of emergencies, so that I am prepared for any general emergency that may happen in the props department. And so if you are keen to see any of that, then stick around. Be sure to smash that like button as it lets me know you want to hear more content like this, as well as consider hitting that subscribe button and bell so that you don't miss a single one of my uploads. With all that said and done, let's jump into this one. Alrighty, starting with the very basic, a glue stick. Do not underestimate this. If you are doing anything with paper, these are so handy. When I worked on High School Musical last year, there was a lot of paper because it was set in a school. And so this was actually extremely handy. And although glue sticks or paste are not exactly the strongest of glues, they are very good, as I said, if you are working predominantly with paper products. And they do give a little bit of a tack hold, and sometimes they can work almost as effectively as blue tack depending on the surface that you're sticking them to, especially if you want a temporary hold on something. So I always carry a glue stick in my pencil case just because you never know when you might need it. Second, of course, I use this in almost all of my videos, is a hot glue gun. Hot glue is great if you have got to glue something quickly. It doesn't have the strongest hold, but if you want something to be tacked down that is small, or even if it's big and it doesn't need to have an absolutely like strong grip, then it's really great. If you're rhinestoning, if you're doing something like with foam or something that's lightweight, a hot glue gun is fantastic. Obviously, just check that whatever you're using is not going to melt when you put hot glue on it, because obviously that is a thing. But there are plenty of glues, like contact adhesives, for example, they will melt other things as well because of the chemicals in them. So read your instructions first is all I'm going to say. But a hot glue gun and multiple glue sticks, always in my kit. Always have them. I have so many of these, it's not funny. I always carry spares because I tend to either lose them or lend them to people, and they're just super handy to have. Another glue that I always mention is Mod Podge, and this is fantastic. This is actually a sealant, but it's also really good if you're doing, I can never say it, decoupage? Anyways, it's really good for so many purposes. You guys have seen it in multiples of my videos. I always carry Mod Podge because, as I said, it's great if you need to lacquer something and you don't want to use a spray lacquer, or if you just need to go over the top of something that's foam. This will stop air getting in. It is fantastic, and it comes in so many different varieties. This is the matte version. I also have the dishwasher safe version for things that I might be making that need to be wiped down, and I have the gloss version as well. But there are so many different types of Mod Podge. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but I've been using this for many years, and this is only the second pot that I've actually gone through, and I'm only halfway through it. So it a little bit actually goes quite a long way. Next is PVA glue. Now, I do not use PVA glue that often. I don't have that many uses for it, but I do carry it because sometimes it can come in handy. I will say PVA glue takes a long time to dry, especially if you're using it in winter. I say that because I worked on a show once where PVA glue was used and it was winter and it didn't dry, and we had something hanging in the air and it started dripping PVA glue onto the stage because it didn't dry. So if you are going to use PVA glue for anything, make sure you allow time, or you put it in a warmer area or in the sun to help it dry. But PVA glue is fantastic for craft things. It really is. If you're gluing foam together or anything like that, anything lightweight that obviously a glue stick is not going to work on, or hot glue might melt. PVA glue is fantastic, but it does, as I say, have that longer drying period. And also in the same family is a clear craft glue or a school glue. This is also a great option as well. School glue tends to dry a little bit faster than PVA glue. They do have different compounds in them, so they do slightly different things. Craft glue and school glue, of course, they don't glue things like wood. PVA glue can glue light woods. A wood glue is also very similar. They're all kind of in the same sort of family. They do very, very similar things, but with both of these glues, you do, well, and wood glue, you do need to allow a time factor to allow them to dry. So I do carry these, but these are not for quick fixes. These are for, oh, that needs to be fixed and the show doesn't open in a couple of days. Cool, I'll use this glue and clamp it down and it'll be fine. So just a word on that. Next we have liquid nails. I love liquid nails. Liquid nails is so strong, it's fantastic. It doesn't dry clear though. So all of the glues we've got so far, they all dry clear. Liquid nails doesn't. It stays this tan color. Let's see if I can do the influencer thing, the beauty influencer there. It stays that sort of tan color. So that is something to keep in mind. So it's not something that you want to put down if it's going to be on display. Liquid nails is a construction adhesive. It is strong. That's why it's called liquid nails. You can paint over it, you can sand it. It is great for various different surfaces. I used it actually to glue together some clay when I worked on Aladdin because I had a prop that was made of clay that was breaking. I didn't make it, but where we hired it from, it actually unfortunately had a bad crack in it and I was really concerned it was going to break. But the liquid nails really held it together quite well. And it is super duper strong, and I really love the fact that you can squeeze it out and rub it in. It takes a little bit of time to dry, but nowhere as long as these guys. It says 20 minutes. And so normally with liquid nails, you would put it on both sides of whatever you're gluing together and press, and it's good after 20 minutes. So it's really fantastic. As I said, if you need a strong hold, you need a quick hold. Not so good if you want something that's going to dry clear, so just bear that in mind. If you can't paint over it and you don't want it to be obvious that you've repaired something, this may not be the option for you. Another one which is very similar is a contact adhesive. Now I have the Selleys Quick Grip, but there are multiple brands that make a contact adhesive. A contact adhesive is very similar in terms of how liquid nails works, is that you apply it to both sides of a surface. However, with a contact adhesive, you apply it to both sides and you let it get tacky first. Then you press them together because the tackiness is what actually holds the two items together. But you do have to be careful though, because this can be corrosive. I have attempted to use it on foam before and it just ate away at the foam. So like all of these things, do check the safety instructions. But yeah, this is really good. Again, it doesn't dry clear, so bear that in mind as well. Make sure if you are using it that it's either in a non-conspicuous place on an item, it's somewhere you can paint over, or it's not going to be seen at all. But contact adhesives are absolutely amazing. They are super strong and they are so handy to have at all times. Tarzans Grip is another one that I absolutely adore. Now Tarzans Grip has many different types of glue. This is the general purpose one and I always carry it. This is actually a very small tube. I normally have a bigger one, but I couldn't find a big one, so I feel like I might have used it. Once again, this is the type of glue that, again, you apply to both sides of an item and you press together. This one takes 10 to 12 hours to dry, whereas your contact adhesive takes 20 to 40 minutes. And again, liquid nails is the fastest and you kind of get slower as we go. But Tarzans Grip is one of my personal favorites. I find it very easy to work with. It dries a lot clearer than the other two. Usually, yes, you can still see there's glue there, but it is pretty good in terms of being clear. And it just looks like you've got an epoxy on it. Be very careful with it. It does contain acetone, so the aroma of said glue is a little bit strong, and if you need to use a breathing apparatus, please do. But it is a great glue. Case in point, I used it last year in chess to repair a jazz shoe. Like the sole had come off a jazz shoe and it was in the middle of a show, and so I put Tarzan's Grip around the outside. I also used the contact adhesive as well, clamped that shoe together, and I literally got wood clamps and clamped it shut overnight. That jazz shoe is still holding strong, and it is well over a year later, and the dancers said thank you so much, and that is thanks to these two glues right here. So they are really strong and very durable. Araldite. Araldite is very strong. It is an epoxy glue, meaning you have part A and part B, they mix together, and the combination of those two make it strong. Now you have got quick Araldite, which is like 5 minutes and it's done, or you have 24 hours, I think, Araldite, and it takes 24 hours to seal. The 5-minute Araldite can hold, oh gosh, I don't know how many kilos it is. I'll insert that in. And then the 24-hour one is stronger and it can hold a lot more weight. So if you're putting it on something that's load bearing, that's irrelevant. But Araldite is extremely strong. I used Araldite for something, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was, but I used it definitely last year for something, and I think it might have been on Priscilla. Oh yeah, we used Araldite, now I remember. We used Araldite last year when my dad and I were making the massive umbrellas for MacArthur Park, and I did a video on that as well. And when we made the rod extensions for the umbrellas, that was sticking steel into like aluminium, and we needed to secure it, and even though it was secured with like obviously a friction hold, we needed it to be super duper strong and durable because of the strain and stress that was put on the load bearing piece in there. We put Araldite inside the umbrella piece when we put the steel rod in. They survived all the shows. They are so strong, it's not funny. Like, it, as I said, it holds metal together. This stuff, don't mess with it, honestly. Wear a mask if you're gonna use it, but it is super, super strong. This is the 5-minute Araldite, and I'm pretty sure we used this one when we used it, and boy, oh boy, it held up the entire time. It is absolutely amazing. The last two for you. I have also got glue dots as well. Now these are funny. These are like whiteout, but, or like liquid paper, but you go, like you drag it like you would with liquid paper, but it just pulls out little like gooey dots. They're really handy again as like an alternative to using blue tack if you're wanting to do a temporary fix, or you need like a little sticky tack on something. So like if you've got a set piece and you've got wallpaper, for example, and it's falling down and you don't have the wallpaper glue, or you don't want to wait for the clag glue. I don't carry clag glue because I don't use it very often, but it's definitely in my collection. Or, you know, you need something very tiny to stick and it's lightweight. These are really handy. I know that that's super random, but they're super handy, and I use them often when I'm set dressing as well, to stick things to the walls if I don't want to have a very obvious blue tack, because sometimes blue tack, like, it changes with the temperature. If it's too hot, blue tack melts. These don't. It's basically like, you know, when you get a gift card and it's stuck to the cardboard at the back, this is the stuff that it's on. So you know it's pretty strong. And last but not least, I always carry super glue. Super glue is so handy, of course. Be careful you don't glue yourself to anything because it dries so fast, but super glue is great for quick fixes. It can be good for other things too, like even like long fixes. But when I said before that I would use a hot glue gun if I was rhinestoning, 100% I would. But if you're holding something more than a rhinestone, for example, in Priscilla we had a beautiful dressing table and it had a lot of rhinestones on it. They had like these little, they were almost like marbles, like glass? Yeah, they're like glass, half marble jewel things. They were glued to it and they were hot glued on. And in the hustle and bustle of the rehearsal period, a few of them came off, and we used super glue to actually attach them back on, and they held. They really did. And I mean, you could also use Tarzan's Grip for that, but if you want a quick fix and you want it to just be done really, really fast, this is your answer, because you only have to really hold it in place usually for roughly a minute, 2 minutes, and it's done. So that is my collection of glue that I carry with me all the time. I hope that this video was informative and you guys learned something. Let me know in the comments if you did. And I will see you guys next time. Be sure to smash the like button if you did enjoy this video, because it lets me know you want to see more content like this, as well as consider hitting that subscribe button and bell so you don't miss a single one of my uploads. And I will see you guys very shortly. Bye.